Hello and welcome abroad to the World Tour. In this carefully organized trip, you'll be able to visit 4 continents and 10 countries, all with different cultures, events, natural wonders, and places to visit. I am just hoping you're ready because you will have the time of your life. We are going to start this wonderful journey visiting the Buddha Castle and admiring the magnificent views. Just a short walk from the Buddha Castle, we can find the Fisherman Bastion, a set of towers constructed in the Austro-Hungarian Empire to protect the city. Next up is hiking to Citadel, which is a fortress that gives us unreal views. Next, we're gonna spend our time walking down our leisure through the Akverensteg. And we cannot forget to visit the mesmerizing Parliament Building, the third biggest Parliament building in the world, a mix of Baroque and Gothic architecture. Just a short walk from Parliament, we have the St. Stephen Basilica, which is one of Hungary's most emblematic churches. Go to the top and enjoy the scenery. Up next is visiting the biggest synagogue in Europe. Receive the evening walking through Hero Square and spending some good time at the city park with all its leisure activities. And then, to finalize, welcome the night in one of Budapest's most famous ruin bars, Simplake. After all the exhausting walking, we are gonna take the day to rest and enjoy all of Budapest's thermal baths. In fact, Budapest is named the Spa City due to its numerous thermal baths, which some overlook the city to give us amazing views. Then we'll take the evening to relax and bike around Margaret Island, maybe even do some picnic. As the evening hits us, walk through Fashion Street in Budapest and, well, go shopping. The third day is composed to a day trip to Szentendre, just 40 minutes away from Budapest. This is one of the most charming towns you will ever see. Coming back through Budapest and we find Normafa, which is the tallest point in Budapest. Enjoy the view. After a whole day of relaxing, let's take all our energy in one of Budapest's many ruin clubs. Our last day in Budapest and its surrounding features a day trip to Visegrad. Take a walk while you enjoy the fortress. We can also find the biggest basilica of Hungary in the town of Esztergom. Going back to Budapest, and we cannot miss the Central Market. Try all of Hungary's cuisines and delicacies. And the perfect way to say goodbye to this precious city is taking an evening boat ride into the Danube. Next up, we are heading to the Hungarian Sea, or Lake Balaton. This is a place full of activities, sunbathing, swimming, kayaking, whatever you wish. On the next day, we'll enjoy some of the features next to the lake, like the Siglige Castle and the Uplands National Park. And finally, to say goodbye to Budapest, we'll visit the mountainous city of Pest. Blink and we'll be in Slovenia, one of the most underrated countries of Europe. We'll start off in the city of Tui, and the next day, just an hour from Tui, we'll go to the capital, Ljubljana, one of the most underrated yet magnificent cities in all of Europe. Go to Ljubljana Castle, visit the Tivoli Park and St. Nicholas Cathedral. One of the most stunning features of Slovenia is Lake Bled. Go to the Bled Castle, hike to its various viewpoints, and then simply relax by the water. Next up, we'll visit the mesmerizing Lake Vohine. There are many surrounding viewpoints, cascades, waterfalls. And just a short walk from this lake, we'll find Mostnica Grđe, a channel of precious waterfalls. Speaking of waterfalls, we'll see a lot when we spend our day at the Triglav National Park. Admire the beauty of the Julian Alps. The next day will be spent engaging in all the activities that the river Soka Basin has to offer, like kayaking and snorkeling. To finish our splendid Slovenia trip, we'll go to Piran and Portorož. They are two cities located in the small seashore of Slovenia. Just take a walk around the city, enjoy its precious but small and tiny cobblestone streets, and stay at one of the many resorts in Portorož. Our last European destination is the beautiful country of Croatia. We'll go to the Rovinj medieval town, stroll admiring the medieval and Italian architecture and the Church of St. Euphemia. Around 3 hours away from Rovinj, we'll find the Plitvice National Park. Hike and encounter some of the best waterfalls and small lakes. Next, we'll drive from inland Croatia to the coastal city of Zadar. Go to the Greeting of the Sun Monument, the Zadar Cathedral, and the Old Town's narrow street. Our next stop is the desertic island of Pag, which reminds me a lot of Santorini in Greece. Just mesmerizing. Now we're gonna be headed to the southern part of Croatia, specifically the Makarska Riviera. This place is perfect for enjoying the beach and swimming in solitude. Admire the phenomenal scenery of the green mountains combined with the light blue sea. Enjoy the fortress up the mountain and get pristine views. Our last stop is Dubrovnik, Ragusa, the southernmost tip of Croatia. In here, we can walk on top of the city walls. We can admire astonishing views of the city. Go jump to the water off the cliffs and enjoy drinks in the nearby bar. Then hike the nearest mountain to enjoy the tallest viewpoint of the city and stay to admire the sunset. Our world tour is now translated to the African continent. We are gonna visit the country of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is definitely overlooked and really underrated. The country is full of majestic waterfalls, pristine wildlife, and a lot of national theme parks. We start flying from Dubrovnik all the way to Harare, the capital of Zimbabwe. In the city, we can enjoy a sculpture park, go to the National Gallery, and visit the Mukvisi woodlands to enjoy some of its wildlife. On the second day in Zimbabwe, we'll take a drive to the National Park Nyanga and admire the endless mountains and breathtaking wildlife. Our next stop will be Domboshavua. It features a big rock and cave paintings that date prehistoric times. On this same day, we'll take a hike to the Nigomakurira mountain. The view from the top is absolutely gorgeous. Day 4 in Zimbabwe features the Chinovi Caves. It's a wonderful cave system with natural pools and the chance to go scuba diving. truly a unique experience not to miss. Our last stop in Zimbabwe on day 5 is to visit Victoria Falls, flying there. Victoria Falls is a system of waterfalls, in fact, the longest in the world. This majestic natural wonder is right between the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia. The fall from the top is more than 1,000 feet. At Victoria Falls, there is a specific scenery only for the bravest, the Devil's Pool. It's a small rock formation that lets you dive and swim in the river and be just inches away to fall to the imminent death. We'll leave Zimbabwe to take onto our next adventure. We'll fly to South Africa. South Africa is a very big country with so much to visit and worth seeing. We'll fly from Victoria Falls to Cape Town, the biggest city in South Africa. We'll stroll and visit the Cape of Good Hope, South Africa's most southern tip. We'll also have the chance to visit the Two Ocean Aquarium and spend the evening at the Victoria Alfred Riviera. On our second day in Cape Town, we'll hike the Table Mountain and relax and admire the penguins on the Boulders Beach. Up next, we're flying from Cape Town to Johannesburg. We're visiting the Gold Reef City theme park, Monte Casino, a themed supermarket and shopping mall, the Apartheid Museum, and the House of Nelson Mandela. There's so many things that the city has to offer. We're gonna spend the next 3 days in the Sun City Resort. This luxurious resort in the middle of nowhere, quite literally, is the perfect place to go on safaris, relax by the pool, engage in cultural activities, partying, camping, and much more. And if you are an Adam Sandler fan, you can probably recognize the resort because this was where the movie Blended was filmed. Days 7 and 8 in South Africa feature flying to the Kruger International Airport and then renting a car to drive to the Kruger National Park. Here we can spend the next 2 days enjoying the breathtaking wildlife and appreciating all the natural beauty that this place has to offer. It is truly a magnificent and sublime experience. Our time in Africa has come to an end, and now we're traveling to Asia, specifically the Middle East, in Qatar. After some amazing wildlife and safari, we're gonna immerse in the rich diversity and modernity that the city has to offer. We're gonna visit the Abdul Wahab Sheikh Mosque, a very important place for Muslims. Additionally, we'll learn Qatar's history at the Mushraib Museum. We can relax in a wooden boat to watch the sunset. Our second day features driving an hour to a desert entrance, and we're gonna camp and spend the night at Khor Al Aidad, the sea where Qatar meets Saudi Arabia. It's an inland sea and it's truly wonderful. We're going back to Doha for our last day in Qatar. We're gonna visit the precious Mammen Islands of Pearl, Qatar and see all its delicacies, take a sightseeing tour and stroll along the Doha Corniche. We're also going up the bars and towers constructed when the Ottoman Empire was in the region. We'll then take a touristic hop-on hop-off bus and relax at the Aspire Park enjoying the city lights. Now we're taking a flight to Turkmenistan. You might be thinking, what is Turkmenistan? Well, its capital, Ashgabat, has the most white marble buildings in the whole world, and the whole city is a architectural masterpiece. For visiting this vast country, a guided tour must be compulsory bought in order for the government to allow tourism. The tour includes 3 meals per day and also a day trip to the Door to Hell, a gas crater that has been on fire for centuries and will be for many more. It occurs because of the gas leaks on the soil. We'll be able to spend the night next to this shocking feature. Please be mindful that we won't be able to take pictures at our leisure, only what the government allows. But saving these precious sites in our memory will be more than enough. Our time in Asia has come to an end, and now we are visiting Australia and the Oceania continent. We're starting off by landing on Brisbane in Queensland. Here we can explore the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, hike Mount Hook, or visit the Kangaroo Point Cliffs Park. We'll take a full week to explore all of Brisbane's landmarks because it has so many. We're taking a short drive from Brisbane to the peculiar Glass Mountains and spend the day there. There's a lot of mounts and they're made out of volcanic formation. Now we're heading north to the Conway National Park, and we are gonna take a boat ride to Whitehaven Beach. We can take the boat from the Shute Harbor. Upon arriving to this mesmerizing beach, just let yourself immerse in the nature and straddle along the white coastline. The next day, we'll catch the sunrise at the Cape Hillsborough National Park for some stunning kangaroo views. We'll be spending the rest of our day exploring the biggest coral reef in the world, which can actually be seen from space. On our 5th day, we'll drive along the coastline enjoying the scenery till arriving to the Daintree Forest. Researchers believe that this is the oldest forest in the whole world. This place is also home for some of Australia's endemic species. One of the first Australian cities sits along the biggest bay in the world. We can certainly not leave out the wonders of Sydney. The Royal Opera House, the Taronga Zoo, and the Queen Victoria Building are some of the places that we will visit in Sydney. We will also admire its various beaches, like for instance the Bondi Beach. On our 2nd day in Sydney, we'll drive to the nearby Blue Mountains, a magic scenery in which we can hike and relax. The views are simply stunning and breathtaking. Now we're directed to Australia's inland red desert to visit the Uluru Rock. This rock was fundamental for some of the indigenous populations of the region. Ancient spirits are supposed to be living here. And we are back to the coastline to Melbourne, where the Australian Open takes place. We'll visit the grounds and all the court, as well as the Botanical Garden and the Melbourne Skydive. On our 2nd day, we go to St. Kilda Beach, go to the nearby untouched rainforest, and finish our day enjoying the magicness of the 12 Apostles. And we can catch the sunset here, and it's said to be one of the most outstanding experiences one could live. To finish our 2-week tour in Australia, we're gonna spend 2 days in Tasmania. We're gonna fly to Hobart and then rent a car to road trip the whole Tasmania and enjoy its rich nature and stunning wildlife. The Cradle Mountain is definitely one of the big things to see here. There's a national park in which we'll be able to walk, jog, and just take on the amazing landscape. We are finishing our Oceania trip with a 1-week trip to New Zealand. We will land in Auckland and go to the Auckland War Memorial, the Cornwall Park, hike Mount Eden, the Waitemata Harbour, and the Auckland Whale and Dolphin Safari. We'll also be able to go up one of the tallest buildings in the world, the Sky Tower, and we can appreciate and enjoy all the views from the top. Day 3 features taking a water taxi to go to Cathedral Cove. Here we can explore the beach and go to the Ho Ho Rock. Not far from here we can find the hot water beach and immerse in its thermal waters. They are natural. Enjoy! We'll then finish our day taking the Hobbiton tour, the set for The Lord of the Rings. It's literally a place from a movie. Less than a 3-hour drive on our next day will have us to the scenic Three Sisters Beach, in which we can walk around the volcanic sand and relax by the Elephant's Rock. A 30-minute drive and we'll arrive to the Egmont National Park. In here, we can hike around Mount Tanaraki. We'll start off at the Mangori Trail and take a 2 or 3 hour hike to arrive to the Paukaki Circuit Reflective Tarn. The next 4 days will feature visiting the South Island and all its amazing landscapes and nature. We are gonna enjoy the town of Picton and then drive and hike to arrive to the Warariki Beach, one of the most pristine beaches I have ever seen. Afterwards, we'll fly to Christchurch to then drive and spend the evening at Lake Te Paco, a truly gorgeous sight and one of the best places to watch the sun. On our 3rd day on the Southern Island, we'll drive to Mount Cook. We'll hike around the mount and arrive to Lake Pukaki, another gorgeous, gorgeous lake. In fact, New Zealand's nature is truly a wonder. We will hike on a long trail to arrive to Royce Peak, passing bridges, rocks, and all types of nature and landscapes. Beware of the wind, it's pretty strong. Up next, we'll start road tripping on the way to Milford Sound. It's gonna be a beautiful drive and a long one, but it's gonna be worth it. It's a very isolated, beautiful place. In here, we can take a boat ride that will take us upon the islands and cascades of the region. The Stirling Falls are one of the most remarkable of them all. Our last destination implicates traveling more than half of the world, all the way from the tip to Oceania to South America. We are visiting the country of Colombia, my hometown. Upon arrival, we stroll around Bogota's Old Town and the graffiti town of La Candelaria. Next up, we'll visit La Plaza de Bolivar in the early morning, which is the city's main square. We'll also visit some museums, churches, and Nariño's house, a really historical landmark. Finally, we'll say goodbye to the day on the Golden Museum. On the second day, we'll drive 3 hours to the charming town of Villa de Leyva and explore its cobblestone streets. We'll come back to Bogota to enjoy the night at the busy central district of Bogota. Simply get immersed in Bogota's city lights and cultural events. On our last day in Bogota, we'll climb Monserrate and visit the monument on top of the mountain. The top of the mountain sits at a whopping 3,000 meters above sea level. We'll also visit Bogota's Botanical Garden and explore the 93 Park and the Simón Bolívar's Park. Taking a direct flight from Bogota to Leticia will take us to explore the next 2 days in the Colombian Amazon. Simply immerse in the place's history and indigenous tribes and history and take a tour around the amazing wildlife that is available in the region. After 2 days, we're flying to Colombian Coffee Axis. This place of the country is characterized by its unique towns and rich history in the country's economy of cultivating coffee. We'll also visit the nearby Cocora Valley and its impressive palms. In fact, these are Colombia's national trees. Our second day in the Colombian axis features spending the day at the National Snowy Peaks Park and taking a coffee tour to understand all the technicalities of such precious practice for inhabitants in the region. On our last day of this part of the country, we'll visit the city of Manizales and enjoy the thermal baths available. The next 2 days will be what Colombians consider to be the 8th world wonder, Caño Cristales. Otherwise called the Seven-Color River, this is a unique place on Earth. It's deemed the prettiest river in the world, and no wonder. Its distinctive red colors are given by an endemic plant from this region. We can also do rafting in the nearby rivers and go to Caño Cristalitos. On our 10th day in Colombia, we'll embark on a road trip to the Chicamocha Canyon to appreciate its beauty and engage in all the extreme sport activities like bungee jumping and some pretty scary swings. Very close to the Chicamocha Canyon is the city of Bucaramanga, the capital of the Santander department. It has so many municipalities and is such a vibrant city. The national wonders continue with a 3-day hike in the dense forest of Tayrona to visit the Lost City. The Lost City is believed to be even older than Machu Picchu in Peru and was only discovered in the 20th century. To arrive there, we'll have to take on some difficult walking and hiking, but it's all gonna be worth it. Speaking of Tayrona, we'll spend our 16th day in Colombia in the Tayrona National Park. This is a UNESCO heritage site in which we can stroll and hike in its forest to slowly arrive to various pristine beaches. The Tayrona National Park is in the city of Santa Marta, which is a historical city in which Simón Bolívar died. It's full of historical landmarks and also a lot of impressive and relaxing beaches to spend the day. Our next coastal city will be the city of Barranquilla, in which the longest river, the River Magdalena, meets with the Caribbean Sea. My personal favorite is the city of Cartagena. It is one of Colombia's oldest cities and a sign of its resistance to our fight against the Spaniards. You can enjoy the untouched Spanish architecture and stroll around the city walls. And don't forget the Old Town as well. The San Felipe Fortress is also worth visiting, and if you want something more modern, you can go to Boca Grande, which is like a mini Manhattan, if you ask me. We suddenly arrived at the most northern tip of Colombia, the department of Guajira. Here we'll take the tour to know all the impressive natural beauty of Guajira, and this trip shows us the change in nature from a dry forest to desertic dunes and breathtaking beaches. Our world tour comes to an end visiting the Isle of San Andres. Actually located close to the coast of Honduras, San Andres has been a part of Colombia's history for centuries. It features the 3rd longest coral reef in the world, and it's also deemed a natural beauty because the sea has 7 colors. We have the 7-colored sea and the 7-colored river, as you can see. Don't forget to enjoy the natural aquarium. In this small strip of land, you'll be able to go inside the sea and appreciate all the marine wildlife. We'll also be visiting La Piscinita and the Hoyo Soplador, in which high pressure water just comes flowing out of a small crater.
Truly, nature is unreal. And sadly, like this, our world tour has come to an end. We visited 10 countries in over 4 continents. We not only were in cities, but we also engaged in natural and cultural activities. It will certainly never be enough to cover all the world's wonders, but this has been a pretty good. I hope you live with positive image of all the countries mentioned because, in my opinion, they're pretty underrated.